Casey has been picking so many berries the last several days, and I have had so much fun coming up with some different recipes. And today I am sharing my recipe for sourdough mixed berry cobbler. I'm also going to be working on some fall seedlings. We're going to have pizza for dinner. I'm going to show you how to save seeds from brassicas, or in today's case it will be collards, and a couple other things. So stick around. Let's spend some time together today. For this berry cobbler, I'm using honey as the sweetener. I put a couple of cups of fresh berries in a bowl. I added a cup of honey, half a cup maybe. The full recipe will be in the description box below. I think it was half a cup actually. And the juice of half of a lemon. I just mixed that up and let it sit while I was working on the rest of the ingredients. You can make this recipe with sourdough discard or active sourdough starter because there's no fermentation time needed, so there's no added flour. You're just using the starter as the topping for the cobbler, and that makes it a quick sourdough recipe. But because you're not adding any flour to the topping, it doesn't need to be long fermented. So you use a cup of sourdough starter, and I added, I think, a couple of tablespoons of honey, a little bit of salt, baking powder, and just mix that up. An egg, make sure you put the egg in there, that is very important, and mix that up. And then I'm using a 9x9 baking pan, but you could use a 10-inch cast iron skillet if you want. And I'm just going to bake it in there. For the full recipe though, go down into the description box and you will find the link to my blog, therosehomestead.com, and it will take you to this recipe. Or you can just head over to therosehomestead.com and search berry cobbler and it will come up. I thought that this was just a really fun recipe for this time of the year, and we have enjoyed it so much. I did put a crumble topping on top, which is just a mixture of flour, sugar, and melted butter or olive oil, and it is so good. I didn't put a ton of that because I didn't want a lot of added sugar, but it was so good, and I think that you all are really going to enjoy this recipe. This turned out so good. If you make it, please tag me and let me know what you think about this easy sourdough mixed berry cobbler. Now I am going to make up some oats. I use an oat flaker and use oat groats to make my rolled oats, and I'm going to make some oat milk. We have been drinking so much of this iced coffee, and so I am trying to keep up with keeping milk made so that we can add it to our coffees. Now I'm adding a little bit of sunflower lecithin. It helps a bit as far as it like separating in the fridge. It doesn't keep it from separating, but it does help. A couple of tips is use cold water and only mix it for 30 seconds. Now usually I do this in a little vegan milk maker, but since I am making such a big batch, a half gallon today, I just strained it through the vegan milk maker. And a plus for the chickens, they get the leftover pulp from the oats and they go wild. All right, I'm gonna head outside and repot some of my fall seedlings. They're getting so big already. These plants are going to be great when it comes time to put them out next month. We are doing cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts. Anytime I can get my hands in the dirt, I'm happy. So this to me is not work. This is so much fun working in our seeds. But look at these seedlings already. They're getting so big. And when I noticed when I was repotting them that the root systems are the best I have ever had. I'm going to show you one here in a minute, I think. But the roots are great. So I feel like even with transplanting them, they are going to be just fine. And I normally don't really like to do that, transplant them. Look at those. That's crazy. I have never had root systems like that with my seedlings. If you don't follow along with me on all my videos, I've talked about before, I have such a struggle with starting seeds, but this year I have found the trick, and it is grow lights very close, and only like lift them up a tiny bit until they are ready to be either repotted or put outside. I am having huge luck with that. I'm pretty excited about this fall crop. So our collards from the fall have went to seed. If you let them go to seed, they will make these little seed pods. And once they get dry and brown, you can actually open them up and the seeds for the next batch will be inside. We love saving seeds this way. You just tear off one of the little pods, open it, and the seeds just start falling out. It is the coolest thing. I think that saving seeds from cabbage, cauliflower, collards, whatever, is my favorite, because you just kind of let them, you know, they're dry, they're ready to go. I could actually plant these seeds right now and they would be just fine. I'm going to put them in a brown paper bag, label them, and they'll be ready to go out this fall. Pretty exciting. This morning I put on some pizza dough and I put one in the freezer and then left one in the refrigerator so that we could have a quick dinner. We're getting plenty of zucchini right now, and so I just sliced some up and put on there. I had put some salsa, zucchini, red onions, and cheese. It was so good, and it lasted us for 2 meals because it made such a big amount of pizza. But if you are interested in pizza crust recipes, I have a couple over on my blog, and I'll try to remember to link them down below. I have a freshly milled pizza crust recipe, and I also have a sourdough long fermented pizza crust recipe as well. I make both of them pretty regularly, and we just love pizza. I mean, really, who doesn't love pizza? Do you love pizza? Let me know what you like on top of your pizza. I think I've asked that before, but we eat pizza here almost every Saturday, and so I try to keep several pizza crusts in the freezer, and then when it's time to make more, I'll make a few, put them in the freezer and in the fridge, and I've got them ready to go for the next time. I think I mentioned, well, I did mention, I made a video not too long ago about us being interviewed for our local paper. We got the paper and we got to see it, and so I'm going to show you a little bit of that. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I really enjoyed our visit, and we will see you on the next video.